Speaking of adventure, I just got back from a 2,000-mile round trip road trip.
Whew.
It was actually 1,970 miles. And I think it was exact. I have pictures of the odometer. But the thing we did on the very last night of our road trip was we stopped at Southern Tier Brewery, and I got this hat. And it's corduroy, if you can tell or not. And so now I'm trying to have a better corduroy hat than Kevin. That's the game. That's the goal.
But ours say butter, so
uh, Elizabeth was like, maybe we should get 3 of them. We should get one for you, one for Kevin, and one for Jonathan. And I was like, okay, I could see Kevin wearing this.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen your brother touch a hat, let alone wear a hat.
No, unless it was a helmet for sports. Nope.
But I was like, but can maybe I just have this one? um but I did all the driving, and I have zero idea how I read 2 books on this vacation.
Nope.
Don't know, but I did all the driving. And can I give you some highlights without going into stupid details?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you?
So
Do you believe in yourself to be able to do that?
yes, I believe in myself. May I give them to you? If you follow me on Instagram, which nobody follows me on Instagram except for my family, you will have been spammed by stories
It was stunning.
while I was gone. But what we did was so I live in Central Ohio, to give you context for the starting point. So day 1, we drove to Niagara Falls, got there around lunch, and we enjoyed the falls. We did, from the different vantage points, and we took the Maid of the Mist tour where you get wet. And we went and had dinner, and then we learned that they light up the falls at night.
Oh, cool.
So we went back at night. And that was really, really cool. The next morning, we drove very short distance, like 3 hours, to Geneva and the Finger Lakes. And we enjoyed Redtail Ridge Winery because we are tangentially members of we're members of a winery in Charlottesville, and they joined a wine collective, which means that if you're a member at one, you're a member at all. So we got like free tastings and 20% off. And anyways, it was stunning. Super amazing winery. If you have the chance to go, we brought a case home, of course, because yeah. So, we woke up super, like, retardedly early the next morning, and we drove 6 hours to Brattleboro, Vermont, where we had lunch at the marina, which is set on the Connecticut River, which New Hampshire actually owns the Connecticut River. Maybe owns is not right, but that's like the map line. So we were in Vermont staring at New Hampshire, and we were eating lobster bisque and all of the good stuff. That was really fun. And then we drove the next 4.5 hours to Maine, where Elizabeth's friend Sadie lives. And we stayed at her house for a couple of days. We had a day in Portland, where we met Sadie's significant other. And that was really cool. And then we had a day just in the town where she lives. We did movies. And then the next day we woke up and we drove to Acadia National Park. And we went glamping while we were there. And Acadia National Park in Maine is breathtaking. If you can go, if anybody can go, definitely go. But don't go glamping. At least not in October. Do not go glamping in October. Maybe in the summer, but not in October. It get cold, man. And if you are crazy enough to stay awake or wake up every hour to feed the wood stove fire in your tent, I guess go for it. But we all fell asleep and it was super duper cold. Um, and the showers in the sink are not fun because you have to pull a lever to keep the water on, right?
Mm.
You can't let go or else the water shuts off. So like washing your face in the sink with one hand is not super fun, and holding the water down while you're actually taking a shower. I was the only one of the three of us to take a shower because I was like, paid for this, I'm experiencing this. Um, it is cold, and I'm here to tell you that if you slip, like, and your hand slips and the water turns off, you pull it back down and ice water shoots out, and you got to wait a couple of minutes for it to heat back up before you can get back in. And when the tent is just generally like 35 degrees, it's not super fun to just wait there for a couple minutes to let the water heat back up. So,
Yeah.
but super amazing views. I was able to watch sunrise and sunset every single night. I was super sleep deprived, but it was beautiful. Um, we went lobstering at Bar Harbor. Um, we saw lots of different places at Acadia, like Jordan's Pond, Cadillac Mountain, um, Ellsworth, Bar Harbor, the Sand Beach, I think is what they call it. Anyway, super beautiful. It was kind of a bummer that some of the services were not available because of the United States government shutdown, but it was all good. Um, and then we left Maine and essentially we drove to Burlington, Vermont the first day. We stopped at Ben and Jerry's on the way. Little overhyped, but that's okay. And we went to Burlington, Vermont, which is right there on Lake Champlain, which is the largest lake in the United States, or actually maybe even North America after the Great Lakes. We took a sunset dinner cruise on Lake Champlain. It was fun, but it was definitely like a high school class of 75 reunion. We were I'm getting to the age where I should no longer be the youngest person somewhere. And I suppose because Elizabeth is younger than me, I'm technically not, but you get my sentiment. We were once again the youngest people there outside of maybe some of the wait staff. Anyway, so it was fun. And then we walked around Burlington afterwards. We woke up early the next morning and we drove to the Finger Lakes for lunch. And then from the Finger Lakes, we drove to Lakewood, New York, which is where Southern Tier is located. And let me tell you, we had amazing burger, amazing nachos, lots of beer. 10 out of 10 recommend. Super fun. And then we were going to go to a winery on the way home. And we were both just so done that we just drove home after that. But we did stop at Costco on the way home to get some provisions on a Sunday. That was a mistake.
Terrible idea.
Um, but all said and done, it was like 950 miles to Maine, and then because we went north and then back down, it was like a 1,020 or 1,030 or something like that miles home. Um, Lots of driving. Washed the cars today. Super cool, super cool. Um, I think it was the best vacation either of us has ever had, outside of maybe our honeymoon.
Wow.
Um, But once again, I will reiterate, I have no idea how I read two books in all of that.
Well, bring it on.
All right.
Let's hear about them.
All right. First book